Hey guys, Kate McGuay here. Thanks so much for joining me today for a webinar on how to build a work anywhere freelance or consulting business. I'm so happy you're here. If you could, just let me know that everything is working on your end by typing yes in the chat box. I just want to make sure that you can hear me and see me okay. I know it's a little bit dark. I'm having to do today's webinar outdoors for a number of reasons that I won't bore you. Okay, good. Yes. Hey, nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Where are you guys all coming in from? I'm in Bali, as you can see, maybe. I'm just on the rooftop here in front of a rice field. I'm working at Siuj House today, which is a cafe and co-working space. It's very lovely, although it can be a little bit loud sometimes when you have to do a webinar on the rooftop. So I'm going to do my best to enunciate today and speak clearly so you can get as much value as possible. And yeah, so without any further ado, we'll get started here. Find my presentation. Start that. And all right. So this is How to Start a Work Anywhere Freelance or Consulting Business, presented by me, Kate McGuay. Where are my buttons? Okay, there we go. That's me. So I am a six-figure freelancer turned business coach for new entrepreneurs, particularly creative entrepreneurs, because you guys are my people. I'm also a digital nomad currently in Bali and a taco enthusiast. Up there on the top right, I think, is the largest bowl of soup I've ever had. That was in Malaysia. I've been in 14 countries this year so far and had a lot of fun. And let's just the brief intro. Why are my buttons not working? There we go. Okay, so before we get started, you're gonna have the best experience if you're watching this on a laptop or a desktop. So if you're on your phone right now, I highly recommend you switch to a laptop if you can. Also, Webinar Jam is the software that I'm using for this, and sometimes it's a little buggy, so you'll have a better experience if you close other browser windows, and just give your computer all the speed it needs to run the software. Also, I talk a little fast. I'm trying to slow it down, but you might want to grab a pen and paper so you can jot down notes, and then I'm going to answer your questions at the end. So in the next 60 minutes, basically, I'm going to cover the 5 critical components you need to start building a successful, profitable work anywhere business as a freelancer or consultant. Profitable is the key there. Like, you can build what looks on the outside like a successful business and really not actually be making profit. You can work yourself to the bone and be making minimum wage as a quote-unquote successful freelancer. We'll cover some of the common mistakes that I see a lot of new freelancers making. We'll talk about how to pick your niche and your target market, how to attract high-end clients, and then I'll go over the secret weapon of all six-figure consultants. So my promise to you is that by the end of this webinar, you're going to have the framework for building a successful business. So what you choose to do with it moving forward, I cannot control, but I'm going to give you the pieces of the puzzle in terms of how to build a really high-end brand. So this is not a sales webinar. I hate those sales webinars where they're like, I'm going to give you an hour of value, and then it's like 10 minutes of talking of value, and then 60 minutes of sales. Do stick around for the end. I'm going to talk about how you might be able to work with me in the future if you'd like, and invite you to programs and give you a gift or an opportunity, but it's going to be brief. So stick around. I'll do that before we do the Q&A. Oops, too fast. Because you just can't quite make that switch, and wondering if you're doomed to life in a cubicle and a boring retirement, or you're somebody that's constantly working on your side hustle. You got this business that you're working on the side, but you inevitably burn out, lose steam, you return back to your cubicle. Or you've actually managed to take the leap to freelancing, but you're just not getting where you want financially, or you don't have the time freedom to, say, travel or take your business on the road. I am somebody that does not fit into the corporate world. No matter how hard I've tried, how many amazing jobs I've taken, I knew that I was meant for more. Like, I felt like I was just wasting away my life living in cubicles and office farms and all of that. And if that's you, if you're questioning whether you can really work for anybody else, and you want to run your own business, and just aren't sure where to start, this webinar is for you. You might be overwhelmed with the amount of information on there. I hear that from a lot of clients, and it was definitely the case for me for years. Like, I would read every article, every book on starting a business, and I would just, the more that I read, the more I consumed, the less confident I was in my ability to do anything, because I was so unfocused. So yeah, and finally, if you're one of those, if you found me on Instagram, because you're drooling over all these people that are like wondering how all these people are spending all their time in infinity pools, all these digital nomads, when you can't even leave your desk for lunch, this webinar is for you. It's about giving you the framework to get out of that cubicle prison that you have created for yourself. If you're burnt out and you're starting to hate your colleagues, or you think your boss is a moron, I certainly felt that a few years, or you're starting to resent your clients as a freelancer because they're just not paying you what you're worth, or they're not valuing your time or your expertise. If you have stopped enjoying your life and really just Netflix and chill is the extent of your relaxation time, if you are wasting a bunch of time, money, and energy instead of enjoying your life and work, or you can't remember the last time you woke up refreshed, if you feel like you are living in Groundhog Day, you're overwhelmed and exhausted and frustrated, I want to help you create a business that actually serves you. You might feel stuck right now, and I want to help you take the next step in your life and your business. If you've ever gotten energized before only to lose steam before you got your first client, or you keep making grand plans to escape the cubicle, maybe even booking a flight, and then chicken out at the last minute because you couldn't stand the thought of leaving your benefits or your secure paycheck. They call it golden handcuffs for a reason, right? Or if you're doing okay as a freelancer, but like you're working so much that you're thinking of taking a job just so you can relax. I did that. I think that was the second time I started freelancing. I was paying my bills, and I actually enjoyed some of the work, but I was working so much that I was just exhausted, and I essentially burnt myself out of my own business. I want to teach you how not to do that, and I want to teach you how to get to consistent 10K months in your business. There is a strategy for that. So all of those things are really just symptoms of a problem, right? They are not the problem. The problem is not that you aren't cut out for freelancing, and it's not that you don't have the right skills, right? The problem is that you don't have the right system. So you need the right system, not another job or more experience. You don't need another resume or a better portfolio. You certainly don't need another degree or certificate or a Facebook group that is full of other people that are struggling to make ends meet. Like, I see a lot of that online, and there are some really great Facebook groups out there. Don't get me wrong. They're not all bad, but some of them are really, it's just a bunch of people that are all bitching about how awful Upwork is. And it's like, well, you're not going to get any value there because you're not learning from people that have done what you want to do. You're learning from people that are stuck down in the trenches with you. You don't need that. You don't need, to read more and digest more. In fact, you should probably take a content break and stop getting more information. You don't need another article on how to start a business. Once you start implementing the right system, you're going to start attracting great projects and getting premium rates. You'll have a waiting list of clients, and you're going to feel confident and energized in your business. You'll always know what to work on next, and you're going to start creating the freedom in your business so that you can travel and work anywhere, and create your life. So there are 5 things you really must know in order to build a 6-figure consulting business without working hundreds of hours a week. The big secret is that none of this is secret or even overly difficult. You're probably doing them or aware of them already, just not necessarily doing them in the right way or doing them consistently. Consistency is a huge key, guys. Like, you gotta be consistent. So who am I and why am I teaching this? I'm Kate McGoy, as I mentioned earlier. I built my last six-figure business working part-time from my living room in Savannah, Georgia. I have a bachelor's degree in graphic design and a master's in business, and I've worked with more than 50 startups and small businesses as a designer and a consultant, etc. Pretty much, if you can name it, I've done it. I'm pretty versatile, and I've been doing this for a long time. My job is really helping businesses grow. So I'm also a digital nomad. As I mentioned, I left the US to travel with Remote Year, and I've since left the program to travel on my own, but do recommend the program for a lot of people. Anyway, I became a coach ultimately because I really think that life is way too short to just exist. You know, anybody has the opportunity or the ability to run a successful business and create this lifestyle that they want. They just need the right mindset set and the right mentorship. And so that's kind of the mission that I'm on. And so how I discovered the system that I'm about to teach you is really kind of a combination of trial and error and a lot of investment. So I tried and failed at freelancing 3 different times. And over the last 10 years or so, I've invested way over $75,000 in programs and education. That includes my master's in business, my MBA. But, I've also attended tons and tons of events, paid for really high-end coaches, and got to seminars, with Tony Robbins and Mastin Kipp and Marie Forleo and, all of these people who are really top end of the systems, as well as reading, hundreds of books, dozens of blogs, et cetera, and studying businesses for patterns and talking to businesses. As I said, I've worked with more than 50 startups. So I've seen a lot of patterns in terms of how businesses survive. And I've done the same in talking to freelancers and in my own business. So without any further ado, this is the 6-figure freelance formula. This is where you want to bring out your pen and start taking some notes. So the first piece is that you need to know your why so that you can visualize your success. Right. So the right vision for your business is going to keep you focused, committed, and clear, particularly in tough times in your business. And there will be tough times. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not one of those coaches that is here to tell you that running a business is easy. If entrepreneurship was easy, everybody would do it. Like, it's not easy. There are gonna be tough times. Now, it can get easier if you have the right vision and you have the right system and you have this formula and you start implementing that. But it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have tough days and you're gonna question why it is you're doing what you're doing. So you need to have that vision that keeps you focused and on path. It's also, excuse me, going to act as a North Star for decision making, which I'll go into a little bit more. But without a vision, what you have right now is that you're really probably unsure of exactly what you're working toward. And it makes it so much easier to become unmotivated on tough days, and you lose steam. And you're hoping to make money someday, and so you're taking on any project and just hoping that it somehow magically improves and your business becomes profitable. Meantime, you're wasting so much time on talking to the wrong people, working on the wrong projects, and talking to the wrong clients, and you ultimately kind of become a professional dabbler because you're really just scrambling to take on work. So visualization, I've created this acronym for you just to keep it easy, is visualization is simply identifying your outcomes now. So what I mean by that is you want to see what it is you want to create. Envision the future that you want to create and why freelancing is important to you, why your business is important to you, what's the legacy that you want to create, why are you doing this? Why are you working the way you are in order to create a business? And once you believe it's possible to actually achieve that vision, then you're going to have the drive to go and do it. So it doesn't matter how amazing you are at your job. It doesn't matter how many skills you have or strategy you have. No matter how you try, you're not going to get where you want to go if you don't know where it is you want to go, right? It's like having a map but not having a destination. That's what a vision does. The vision is the destination. You have a plan. And here's a quick example of 2 men with very different visions. We've got on the left, who knows who that is? I'll wait a second and see if anybody responds. On the right, obviously, is Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook. On the left, yes, is Tom from MySpace. And, a lot of times, I think people, if you say MySpace in a conversation, people think it's a failure because MySpace is no longer around, whereas Facebook is clearly thriving. It's the top network. But the truth is that Tom had a very different vision for his business than Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg founded Facebook, and he wanted to be a CEO. He didn't even really know what the business was so much. He just knew he wanted to be a Silicon Valley CEO. That was kind of his deal, right? And so he founded Facebook, and he's been really, really successful at that. Tom wanted to start a company, grow it, and have a successful exit. An exit, as Silicon Valley speaks, for selling a company and getting your fair share. And he did that. So at the age of 30, he sold MySpace for, I think it was $380 million. So at the age of 30, he retired. And he never, ever, ever, ever has to work again if he doesn't want to. I think if I remember the story correctly, he actually retired at 30, spent about 5 years living on a beach, and then got so bored that he started another company, which is pretty common because we entrepreneurs, we get bored really easy. Like we love to work. And so hopefully that explains the difference in vision, right? So Mark's vision was to become a successful Silicon Valley CEO. And he's done that. He's now runs one of the most valuable, formerly startups in the Valley. I think Facebook is now estimated value of 480 billion or something asinine like that. And that is his vision. And so, he could easily sell that and walk away and never work again, but he wants to be a CEO, and that's his vision. Whereas Tom made different decisions in terms of he grew his business really rapidly, and then he made decisions that led him into being able to sell that vision and able to step out of that. Or do you want to stay as a solopreneur? So, number 2, you want to position yourself as the expert. So a poorly positioned freelancer or consultant is a generalist and not a specialist. And when you are a generalist, tend to lack credibility and visibility in your field. People don't come to you because you're not considered an expert, and when you're a generalist and you're not highly specialized, or you're not positioned as somebody that is an expert, you end up competing on price, right? It's the only thing that differentiates you from anybody else in the market. And so that's, if you're currently working freelance, or in the past you've worked freelance and you've taken on low wage projects, or found yourself really negotiating a lot of rates, this is probably your problem. Also, what happens is you end up acting like an arrogant artist instead of a confident expert. And nobody wants to work with an arrogant artist. Like, you need to position yourself as an expert, and then you can be confident in what you're offering, and not coming off like a spoiled brat. Hopefully none of you are doing that, but I see it. So positioning is really important. How you position yourself is super valuable because companies ultimately want to hire the best, right? Businesses are in business to make money. Like, that is the definition of a business. We're not a nonprofit, right? And companies want the best, and they're willing to pay the best for quality. Because they need to trust their consultants. They need to trust you that you're going to get the job done, and you're going to use your specialized knowledge to ultimately further their goals. Hiring managers at these companies that are hiring freelancers or consultants, they need to delegate for whatever reason. They can't do it in-house. They don't want to do it in-house. Maybe they don't want to hire full-time. Maybe it's a one-off project, and so they just want to be able to say, here, do this. And so if you're positioned correctly, you are the expert, and you provide the absolute best solution to the problem that your client faces. Period. End of story, right? So positioning, as I said, clients are willing to pay more for your expert service. So that's why it's really important for you to start considering yourself an expert. You can also lead the sales conversation when you're an expert, right? Because people are looking to you to tell them what to do, instead of coming to you and saying, here, make this logo, or write, exactly this piece word for word. They're saying, what do I need? What should I do here, right? You want to be the expert, and you want to become kind of a thought leader and a trusted person in your business, so that business then flows to you. If you become the go-to guy or gal in whatever market it is, or specialty that you're in, like you want to be the go-to guy for events in San Francisco, or you're the go-to gal for startup websites. That's, you're the one other thing about expertise and how it can change things is it can limit the need to be the absolute best in your field, or to even show a ton of experience, right? So I have a lot of people come to me and they're really perfectionistic, and they think that the problem with their business is that they're not doing the right things, or they're not good enough as writers or designers or whatever. And that's not the case. It's that they don't know how to market themselves. And so here's an example of, two doctors. And instinctively, if you're looking at this, you're probably looking at Mark F. Miller and those 5 stars. And like, if you had to choose a doctor, you're going to choose Mark Miller, right? But what if you're going in for open heart surgery? Does that change the game? It does for me. Like, even though John C. Haney doesn't have any ratings yet, he has specialized in heart surgeon. And if one of these guys is going to hold my heart in his hands, I'm going to go with John C. Haney. I don't care how many stars he has. Mark F. Miller probably has spent the last 10 years, putting thermometers in children's mouths as a primary care doctor. So it's the power of, a specialty and a level of expertise, is that you can kind of dismiss some of the other stuff that we feel like we must have as consultants. So the riches are in the niches. This is a great little turn of phrase. The wrong target market or niche is really anything that's super broad, like everyone. I do design for everyone, any industry. I can copyright for anybody in any industry. I can do any type of work in design. I can work with anyone in my city, or, any other mass market. These are terrible for you and your business. And because you have thousands of direct competitors. So again, it's impossible to stand out. You're not going to get heard or get noticed if you're talking to everyone. And again, you're competing only on price. Like, when you're competing with thousands of people, the only thing that really distinguishes you, if you haven't positioned yourself well, is price. And you spend a lot of time talking. When you're talking to everybody, you spend so much time talking to clients that don't actually need or want what it is that you do. But because you're marketing yourself to everyone, they'll come to you. They do, and they will waste your time. And you want to stop spending your time talking to time vampires, right? You want to do that in your personal life too, but that's a whole other webinar that I'll have to create someday. Ultimately, when you talk to everyone, you're serving nobody. So the right niche or target market is full of qualified invested buyers that actually value your expertise and cannot wait to work with you at any rate you quote them, right? That's where you want to be. It matters because clients are really easily reached and are looking for you if you have positioned yourself well and you know who your target market is and what you offer them. There is less competition and it's easier for you to differentiate yourself. And clients will literally line up to work with you. I had clients wait months to work with me because I had positioned myself well and I knew how to talk to them. And it's easy to have conversations. Like, if the problem in your business is that you're not able to convert somebody from a lead to a sale, to a client, it may be because you're not speaking their language. And, these conversations are harder because you've not positioned yourself well in the beginning, or you're talking to the wrong people. Anyway, your potential clients, when you've found the right market and you've positioned yourself correctly, the right clients are going to trust your expertise and they're going to listen to the recommendations that you make and not question your decisions to work with them. And I would hazard to bet that startup guys get twice as many inquiries for the same stuff. So number 4, you really want to build a personal brand. And, it can be a business brand as well, but personal brand typically for consultants or freelancers is better. The wrong brand is an inconsistent brand. You're unprofessional or impersonal. You certainly don't want to be boring or unclear, like we saw in the last slide. Like, that was a little bit boring and a little unclear. Like, what's the change my business needs and how do you provide that? And why is that a website? Is that really what you're selling? Right? So be clear and unseen. I said there are a lot of people out there that are, building freelance brands and then are have all of their social media on lockdown. So personal brands often suck. This is what I have seen, working as a founder, as head of design, as an employer, as people that have hired consultants. A number of things that I have seen over the years is like that the founder, number one, this is the utmost problem, is the founder is unfocused and does all of the things, right? So if you are a new freelancer and you're trying to do everything for everybody, and you're doing logos and copywriting and all of that, and you're not particularly good at any particular one, you're going to struggle, and it's going to be clear. Get focused on what you're really good at. Focus on what you want to be the expert in, and spend more time there. If your online presence is unprofessional, like if I go to your Instagram and it's full of cats and memes and really bad photos, I'm going to bounce, or, like the lighthouse thing, copy is just boring. It's like reading a 50s how-to manual, how to type it on typewriter. Or alternatively, if you get so creative, I see this one a lot too, and it breaks my heart a little bit, because there are some amazing people in the creative fields, writers and designers and artists and all of that, and they think that they need to be ultra unique and creative in order to sell themselves, and they end up actually sounding like it's harder to understand what they do than it would be to talk to Gary Busey, right? Like, be clear and compelling and concise. Don't talk about divine, radiant experiences that you create for your clients through multifaceted digital experiences. You want to create easy to use websites for your audience that make you money, right? Like, use layman's terms and make it easy to understand what you do and who you do it for. And as I mentioned, don't act like you're in witness protection and not share anything. If you want to grow your business, if you want to work everywhere, you need to get used to the fact that as a business owner, everything you do is part of your business. All of your social media sites. And so if there's anything on there that you're not proud of, delete it. There's a delete button on Facebook and Instagram and all of that. Get rid of that stuff. So the right brand is going to attract the right clients for you, and it's going to repel those time-wasting clients, those time vampires that I mentioned. And it's ultimately going to sell you before you even have a conversation with them, right? So you need a personal brand because people like to buy from people or trusted brands, right? We don't buy from a brand that we've never heard of or we feel like we can instinctually not trust. And we ultimately, typically, particularly with services, we'll choose the company based on the person that we're going to be interacting in. That's particularly so for freelancers and consultants. Like, if I don't like you, or I feel like you're a little shady when I have a conversation with you, I'm not going to hire you. So you want to create a really personal brand with a high know, like, and trust factor. That's how you want to market yourself. A good brand is ultimately going to attract those clients, so you don't have to chase them down. You're not going to be on Upwork or freelancers.com or something like that, constantly bidding, and losing your mind there. Good brands repel those time-wasting clients and, ultimately create opportunities to collaborate. Like, if you're doing a good job of building your brand and promoting yourself as a brand, opportunities are going to show up that you can't even imagine in terms of collaborating with other people and growing your business. And ultimately, brands can pivot, grow, and expand. You can add service lines when you've created a brand versus, just you as a writer per se. If you're building relationships with people, you can later add service lines that serve those people or grow your business. So as a example, I have a friend that was a graphic designer in Los Angeles for many years and built a successful business there, and then got a little burned out on design and decided she wanted to pivot into photography. And she had done such a good job of building a brand and relationships with her audience that it was kind of a more or less seamless switch from design into photography. So instead of doing logos for coaches and consultants, which is what she had focused herself in, she now does portraits for coaches and consultants, right? So she built a brand, and those people still want to work with her because it was all about her. And here's an example of kind of branding yourself well in a clear and compelling manner. Now, not talking about design-wise, because I think the one on the right is a little bit of a mess. But I will tell you that I Googled the exact same key phrase, and these two came up in the search. And on the left, we've got Bob Smith. Let's chat. I have to really dig in, and then there's some boring copy. I'm a London-based copywriter. I work with companies to write clever things. I changed the name, by the way. His name is not actually Bob Smith. But on the right, we've got Laura Belgray. And Laura writes copy so brilliant you can use it as a lamp. Get the 5 secrets to non-sucky copy. And she's used some tricks here on her website in terms of, one, she's got an opt-in, get the 5 secrets to non-sucky copy. Then she's got this arrow that points down and it goes to a testimonial from a really high-end brand. So she's borrowing credibility from Marie Forleo. Like if she writes for Marie Forleo, who, if you don't know her, is a really high-end business coach and has a YouTube channel, very successful woman. So she's borrowed credibility by showing Marie Forleo. But you know, she's told me a lot of things with that headline, right? Copy so brilliant, you use it in a layup. It tells me she's got some personality. It tells me she's really confident. She creates amazing copy, right? Bob Smith, let's chat. I'm a copywriter. Doesn't exactly compel me to jump out of my seat and go hire him. Just saying. Another quick example, you know, on the left, we've got username over here on Instagram who is apparently in witness protection. The account is private. There's no link. I can't find any more information. And this person might be the absolute best event planner or marketer or whatever on the planet, but I have completely lost interest if I come to your profile and there's no information or I can't follow you. And I'm not going to send you a follow request. Don't waste my time. Take your stuff off of private. On the right, I have Caitlin Meserve, who I had never heard of. I'm not like promoting somebody I know. This is a random Google search. But, you know, she's done some really nice things in terms of showing a consistent brand presence. Like her photos have kind of the same vibe. She's got some personality in here, her and her husband or boyfriend. And, you know, she's got this amazing coffee cup with the sloth on it. And that's really why I picked this profile. I love sloths and I love that mug. But she's got some personality and then she's got a link so I can find more information, right? So, you know, it doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be the most amazingly impressive social media profile or website on the planet, but show some personality, show some professionalism, show what you do, show some style. So a recap of the 6-figure formula is to visualize your success, position yourself as an expert in whatever it is you do, to narrow your niche down as much as possible, and then to brand yourself and not your business. And finally, the number 5 is really to invest in yourself and your business, and that's time, money, and energy. You know, there's 2 paths forward into a 6-figure freelance business. You can figure it out alone, which is what I did. You know, you can read every self-help book or business book out there. You can take all of the free courses. You can sign up for seminars and classes and, you know, waste a ton of time and money the way that I did. Or you can get help specifically from a mentor that's done it before and is going to be able to get you where you want to go faster than you can do it alone. You know, and this is an example of that. You can teach yourself everything you need to know to fly by reading this book by Nigel Tang. Teach yourself to fly. But do you really want to get into the cockpit with your family in the back and take off? Or would you rather have a co-pilot alongside you that is going to help you steer and guide you on the right flight path? You know, that's what coaching essentially is for you. You know, coaching is the secret weapon for really, really high-end business owners and freelancers and consultants. They have invested in some sort of coaching so that they have clarity and confidence. You know, you get focus and accountability. Accountability is really big. I talk to a lot of people that know exactly what to do to grow their business. If that's you, if you know that if you picked up the phone this week and called 5 people and just had a conversation that you'd be able to get your business to the next level and you can't do it, you need accountability, right? You need somebody to help you with that. Or maybe you're really new and you don't have a lot of business acumen, right? And you need somebody's knowledge and the strategy for how to grow your business. You know, that's what you get when you hire a business coach, is you get access to all of their knowledge and what they've done. And finally, you get a lot of help with mindset. Mindset is super important and highly underestimated in terms of the importance of your business. It doesn't matter if you are the best at what you do, you can still not get paid if you have the wrong mindset or the wrong strategy. Ultimately, your mindset is always going to win. If you let your emotions drive your business, you're not going to be successful. If you take things personally in terms of, oh, that person rejected my bid because they don't like my work, if you take that as a personal affront, you're not going to be successful in business. If you are the type of person who, you know, puts off things that you should be doing today repeatedly, that's a mindset problem. And you're going to continue to struggle. And so as an example, if you put 2 freelancers or consultants side by side, and one of them has the right mindset and one of them has a mindset, say, of lack. So let's say that freelancer A, really believes that it's possible to build a 6-figure freelance business and create a life that she loves. And freelancer B, really kind of thinks that's a load of crap, and that freelancing and life is struggle. Freelancer A is going to be more successful. Like it's not just the power of positive thinking. It's the belief that you can do it, which helps you to drive your business forward, right? You need that strategy and you have that mindset. Alternatively, you have other examples, like let's say that freelancer A, doesn't have the drive and determination to be consistent in her business. If that freelancer, is stuck in a cubicle and wants to build a business, but only works on that side hustle when she feels like it, which becomes less and less as we become burnt out. We stop working on our side hustles because we don't have the energy. And it's like, oh, next week when I have more time, or next week when I, feel better, or next month when I have an extra paycheck. We put things off. And if in comparison, if freelancer B is in that same day job, but make sure to spend just a little bit of time every day on his business, at the end of the year, freelancer B, I would bet money on, is out of that cubicle and living his dream life, right? Because his mindset is there and he's focused on creating what he wants. So that's some of the power of coaching. Ultimately, you always have a choice in life. No matter what you do, you can stay stuck and you can keep doing the thing that you're doing over and over again, or you can get help and take action. Because the reality is you're never actually stuck. You feel stuck, but you're making a choice to continue to do what you're doing. And so I recommend that no matter where you are on this journey, whether you're still in your day job and hating it, or you're working as a freelancer and you're struggling, that you make the decision to get help creating the life that you want to create, and take action now while the iron is hot. If you'd like my help, I have 3 options for you. I'm going to keep this brief. As I said, this is not a sales seminar. Ultimately, you're either going to want to work with me or you're not. And that's okay. I don't take it personally. I would love to help you create a life that you love. So these are the 3 options that I have for you. I have option number 1. I have a group program, group coaching program that starts in January. It's 12 weeks of live training and coaching with me. So that's bi-weekly group coaching calls where you can ask me anything and you can learn from the group and what they're struggling with. I'll also have some awesome guest experiences, people that are going to come in and teach and inspire. Either I have like a certified life coaches, Dina, that is going to lead you through some mindset stuff. I have an amazing content strategist that I traveled with on Remote Year that's going to kind of talk about building a business on a road. I have a few other people that I'm working on to get into. You'll have a private Facebook group where you can interact with your friends, and I'm also creating a Slack community. Excuse me. Slack is a software, and it's basically like instant messaging. It was like the newest version of AOL Messenger for anybody old enough to remember that. So I'm so dated. But Slack is awesome. And you'll basically have access to ask me questions anytime, as well as the community. And then the course itself, you'll have 10 core modules and a bunch of bonus modules. And basically the 10 core modules are going to build, guide you through the whole framework that I just explained on, getting your mindset right, creating the vision and the map for your business, learning how to market yourself and think like a client so you can get more clients, create the brand and the portfolio or sales piece that really kills it for you. And, how to start promoting yourself and sell yourself and actually convert your leads to clients. Doing the work of, getting actually paid and serving your clients, following up and getting referral business is huge for you. And then, constant and never ending improvement in your business is really what I teach. Do it fast, learn from it, iterate quickly. That's the startup mindset that I can teach you in this group course. I'll also have some bonus modules on email marketing and content marketing growth strategies. I want to teach you a little bit about passive income and affiliate marketing and things like that. Affiliate marketing gets a bad name. But the truth is that as a freelancer, if you really want to create wealth, you need to have a side business. Creating a service-based business that you love is what this program is primarily focused on, is getting you out of a life of struggle and into a life you love. But if you want to create long-term wealth, you need to think bigger. You need to learn how to manage your money. You need to learn how to bring in other income streams that bring you money while you sleep. So we'll touch on that. We'll touch a little bit on Facebook ads and some other paid marketing, and then some basics, really basic stuff on legal and financing, because you're all in different countries, so I can't go deep there. Some stuff around money mindset, as we talked about earlier. Mindset's really powerful. I know for me, I struggled a lot as a freelancer because I honestly, for years, had such a flawed relationship with money. I grew up, I wouldn't say poor. We were staunchly middle class for the most part, but there was really never enough. I came from a mindset of lack and a mindset of, if I was going to earn really good money, it was probably because I was taking it from somebody else. And I've learned that that's false. It's a false mentality, and it's a story that we tell ourselves, and it keeps us small. So I want to teach you how to not do that. And lastly, you'll get the Six-Figure Freelance book, which is a $49 value. So classes starts in January, but you can enroll today, and it's early bird pricing right now. So go check it out, sixfigurefreelancers.com/course. I'm going to have an offer, I think. Let me put it up here. Should be coming up on the right-hand side now. You can go and check that out. So that's the course in the group program. I'm really, really excited about it, and I would love to see you there. If, that is out of your reach, or group courses are not your thing, and you're really on a tight budget, then you can pre-order the book. It's the same workbook that we'll be using in the course. So it guides you through the same, basically 12-step process for creating the business and brand that you want, just in a highly condensed formula. You'll also get the worksheets and whatnot. So it's kind of like the class minus the videos and the group program. And, ideally, I really believe in the power of coaching, the power of the group program, and the power of personal support. If you want to grow your business rapidly, if you want to really create a life that you love, if you're done struggling, I really recommend the group program. Why do it all yourself if you don't have to, right? But I also have been there. If you're one of those freelancers that's really struggling and, can't even consider investing in coaching, buy the book. It's only $49. You have no excuses for moving forward. And that'll launch in January along with the course. And then you get lifetime updates with the book as well. So I will update it as we go through the course. As things come up and people have questions and there's more information, I'm going to add it to the book and the workbook, and you'll get those updates as they come out. And option number 3 is only if you are absolutely serious about starting your business and really want to do this rapidly and grow, and you are willing to invest in yourself. Please do not waste my time if you know in your heart that you're not interested in moving forward with coaching, that you're not going to do whatever it takes to start your business and go out and create this life. This is only for people that are absolutely committed. If you really want this, and you know that I am somebody that can give you what you want or guide you into the life that you want, I will set aside 40 minutes to talk to you personally and talk about how you can implement this program and start getting results quickly. I'm doing this because I'm on a mission to liberate people from the cubicle and help you create a life by design and not default, right? I have been there, and I know how much it sucks to feel trapped. I know how much it sucks to be taking on work over and over again because you feel like you have no other option. And it's like this endless paddling thing. It's miserable. And I want to help you shift that. I want you to get clarity around the life that you really want to create and what you need to do or stop doing in order to do it. And to do it rapidly. So you don't have to do what I did, which was like this 10 years of up and down and high and low. And like, I'm doing great. I love freelancing. Oh my God, I hate my life. I'm going to take a real job. And then this is awesome. I'm really awesome as head of design. Oh God, I hate this shit. I don't ever want to be in a meeting again. like get off of that roller coaster. I want to help you. So at the end of the call, if it's a good fit, I might invite you to become one of my private coaching clients. But I only work with 5 clients at a time. So again, please don't waste my time if you're not dead serious. Ultimately, you're going to be guided through the same process that I used to create my business. Plus, you get the accountability and you get the one-on-one mindset work. Your completely customized program is all about replacing your income or growing your income to consistent 10K months without working harder. You're going to work differently, right? And I expect you to have clients lined up waiting to work with you. And then I'll teach you how you can start working anywhere. So my one-on-one clients are only for people that are absolutely committed to making 100K this year or to quitting their job within the next 6 months to start this business. You need to be serious about working the right way. You need to be coachable, and you need to be open for some tough love, right? My tough love is pretty nice. I'm a nice person. Like I'm a recovering codependent. I love you. I'm going to be nice about it, but I'm not going to put up with your stuff. Right? Like I'm going to tell you what you need to do, and I'm not going to let you get away with not doing what you need to do to create the life that you love. So if you're willing to do that, my programs start at $4,000, but you'll get a free one-on-one session with me. And, in this testimonial, my client talks about how she went from feeling that she had no idea what she was going to do next to full confidence that she could move forward in this business and knowing exactly what she wanted to do next. So that's what I'm going to do with you on this call. I will help you dig deeper into your goals and into the life that you really want to create. And we'll set the framework for establishing the vision for the life and the business that you want to create. And then finally, I will encourage you to dream bigger. So as I said before, oh God, I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. It's a little loud and noisy here. I'm going to teach you to dream bigger about your business, so that you can launch earlier than expected and you can grow faster. So if that's you, if you're super dedicated, you can go to sixfigurefreelancers.com/apply and sign up for a session with me. My space is limited, but you're welcome to apply. And I'm going to just take a 2-second break from camera and sound to have some water because I'm losing my voice a little bit. But you can start typing in your questions, and I will start answering them when I come back. Oh no, I just realized my microphone has been off. I've been talking and talking and talking. Ay. Well, hopefully you stuck around. If you stuck around, bonus. I will answer the questions all over again. I have no idea where that left off. I am so sorry. I will reiterate what I said before, is that the first step of moving forward in your business is to make a decision and commit to it. Once you do that, you're you can start taking action every day towards building a life that you love and building a business that you love. So don't estimate the power of a vision and a commitment. Decide today that you either are or are not going to be a business owner. And if you are, say, I am going to build a business. I'm going to build a 6-figure freelance business in the next 6 months, year, whatever your timeline is, but commit to it and commit to doing whatever it takes to getting there instead of worrying about the details. One of my mentors, Tony Robbins, says, don't let the tyranny of how stop you from doing something. You don't need to know how to do everything right now. You just need to be committed to actually getting it done. So I'll go back to the question. The question was from Aaliyah, and she said, I have a lot of experience as a holistic nutrition chef and teacher, but so does everyone. So how do I set myself apart? The way that you set yourself apart is to focus on what differentiates you from anybody else. And so that's to stop focusing on your skills, because you're right. Typically when we're competing on skills, there's not much that distinguishes us from anybody else. So you want to focus on the value that you create and how you do that uniquely. It's called a key value proposition or unique selling point in business. These are the tools that also as a freelancer and consultant, you want to focus on your know, like, and trust factor. Do people feel like they know you? Do they like you enough to want to do business? Do they trust that you can do the job? If you can focus on that over everything else, you can win business. And what else? Yeah, so I have a number of worksheets that I'll be doing in the group program. You can also, if you want to start today, you can go to capegoy.com/escapeyourdayjob with hyphens in between escape your day job. I have a free course that you can join. And it's like a 7-day email course, and it's just a worksheet in your inbox every day. And some of that is about like looking at, you take a personal inventory and your skills and your personality and all of that stuff, and like figure out what it is that you do uniquely. Going back to the questions here. My biggest issue is getting clients consistently and staying motivated. Yeah, so that's, thank you, John, for that. It's not really a question, but I prompted something here. So as business owners, there are different areas of your business that you need to focus on and that you might have problems. So if you're already freelancing and you're not getting the results that you need, the first step is probably to figure out where that problem is. So I have a lot of people that come to me and say, I think I need to offer different services, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'll talk to them. And then they're like, ask them, well, are your clients happy with what you do? Oh yeah, my clients love everything I do, and they rave and they send me referrals, and that's how I get a lot of my business. So the problem isn't what you're offering, if that's the issue. The problem is not your solution. The problem is probably that you don't have enough leads, right? So the way that a business runs, you want to look at your marketing funnel, and like from start to finish, like you've got inbound lead generation. That's like, where are people coming to you from? How are you getting people even aware of you and your brand? And then the next step is converting those people from leads into clients. Maybe that's your problem. I had that problem for a long time as a coach. Is the clients that I did talk to, I was having these clarity calls with people, and they were getting a ton of value, and they were raving about it, but they wouldn't actually purchase a package from me because I'm not really a salesperson. That's not what I do. I help people, and I create things, and I solve problems. I'm really, really good at that. I'm not as great at selling. And so that might be where your problem is. Maybe you're getting a lot of leads, and then you're dropping off, and they're not actually turning into customers. And then you've got the actual work piece. If your clients aren't happy with you, if you're getting a lot of client complaints, or you're getting a lot of clients that are questioning your value, questioning what you do, aren't paying their invoices, there are two potential problems there that stand out to me. One is either you're not in the right line of work, and you're really just not very good at what you do, but I doubt that's what it is, honestly. It's more likely that you're working with the wrong clients. You're selling yourself to the wrong people. And so you would be better served to work with a different audience that does value what you do. So those are just a few of the areas of business, but those are the biggest ones that we struggle with. Is either you're not getting enough leads, you're not turning enough leads into clients, or you're not creating enough value for your clients that they come back to you or they refer new business. And in terms of consistency and staying motivated, again, that comes down to your vision. You need to have a clear plan and vision for your business in order to make it happen, just hands down, okay? Sarah is totally overwhelmed and doesn't know where to start. I feel for you, dude. I've been there so many times. Start small. Take small action. Start with the decision. Make a commitment. And then take little bits of action every day. I do recommend that you limit your external input to just a few people that you trust. Right. So I had the same problem earlier this year. So I switched from freelance. I started out strong. And then I got distracted and I started listening to everybody else. I started taking, was doing the online courses, all the freebies and stuff from everybody that was trying to tell me how to grow my business faster. And I got so overwhelmed and started doing so many things at the same time that I became completely ineffective. Part of that may also have been that I was traveling full time with remote year and really just didn't have the energy and mindset to be doing it. But a lot of it just had to do with overwhelm and distraction. So limit the input that you're getting. Find a couple of people, a couple of coaches, mentors, teachers, authors, whatever you want to call them. It's all, to me, it's all coaching. Whether you read a book, like I consider Tim Ferriss a coach for me because I read The 4-Hour Workweek in 2008 and it changed my freaking life. He's a coach. He just does it through writing. He's a teacher. Coaching is essentially teaching. So pick a couple of teachers that you feel have done what you wanted to do, have the life that you want to live, and follow them only. And just stop following everybody else. That's going to help with the overwhelm. Okay. You guys are a chatty bunch. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. So Ashley says, I have zero consulting business, but I'm dreaming of starting my own business. I'm just not sure where to start. I've been watching webinars for a month. Yeah, so I think I've answered that question. You start with a commitment to doing it. It doesn't really matter whether you have experience specifically coaching or freelancing. As long as you have experience in business and you can offer value for your clients. So if you're watching this and you're really new to the whole idea of freelancing or consulting, or even new to your career, if you're early on, like I've had students come to me before because they know that they just don't even want to go into the corporate world. They want to start freelancing and, ask me whether they should or not. And I don't believe in shoulds. There is no should or should not. There are harder paths and there are easier paths. But if you were brand new and you don't have a lot of experience, you may need to take some work early on just to get the experience. But you can absolutely start creating the brand and adding value. And yeah, I do believe that you can come out of, be very early on in your career and still make good money if you know how to sell yourself properly and you're adding value for people. So a lot of freelancers struggle because they don't think in business terms and they don't know how to communicate in business terms. And so they sell deliverables, right? Like they sell a blog post if you're a writer, or a logo if you're a designer, or what's another one? So tired at this point. I'm sorry, guys. But they sell deliverables instead of value. And businesses are looking for value, right? I think I can probably just put my face up here. How do I stop screen sharing? I don't even know how to do that. There we go. This is better. Businesses have goals, right? And that's why they're hiring freelancers or consultants. They're hiring you to get a specific outcome. It's not necessarily a logo, right? So if, let's say you're a branding expert and you help companies rebrand, you want to find out why that company wants the rebrand. And chances are it's not just because they don't like their logo. It's because they want to reach a different client because they think there's more money there. Or, they're pivoting. And so they need to reach a different client. Like you got to look at the business reasons behind what you do and the value that you actually create. Another reason that I got a lot of client work is that, on my website, I talked, and if you watched the thank you video, the video that was on the thank you page for the webinar registration, you saw that, on my website, I talked about the results that I got from my work, not the actual work. I didn't use a lot of terminology in terms of what I actually created or what so learn to talk about yourself in terms of the results that you create. And that's going to help you regardless of where you are in your business. So Amanda asked if I have any advice for finding your niche. I have a lot of advice for finding my niche, and I'm not going to get super detailed into it. So as I said, kategoy.com/escape your day job with hyphens in it. There are a number of free worksheets that you can do there to start refining your audience. I pick my audience based on industry that I really know and love, people that I actually want to work with. Like I want, as a client, particularly when I take on a one-on-one client, if I have a call with somebody and I don't feel like there's somebody that I would want to hang out with, they're not somebody that I would want to have brunch with, I don't take them on as a client. Like, because I don't work with people where it's not a mesh anymore. Whereas early on as a freelancer, I worked with people that I knew right away it was going to be a nightmare, but I needed the money. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you need the money, and you have to, make sacrifices, unfortunately. But if you're consistent about taking the actions to grow the business long term, and you start implementing them now, that period where you're struggling and going after projects for the money is going to get shorter and shorter. But yeah, so pick industries that you're knowledgeable in, pick an area of expertise that you love what you do. Here's a little segue for you. I've had a number of people come to me and we do these clarity calls and they're like, well, I do illustration and design and websites. And I really love illustration. That's my favorite, but I think I'm going to just focus on websites. And I'll say, well, do you like building websites? No, actually, I hate it, but I need money. Don't do that. Don't build a business doing something you hate. It's the worst way to build a business. You're going to burn out and you're not going to be effective and you're not going to be passionate about it. And people know that. Like, your energy speaks volumes. And if you don't like what you do, why is anybody else going to like what you do? And how motivated are you going to stay in that freelance or consulting business if you're doing something that you just don't even enjoy? So don't build a business around something that you love or an area of expertise just because you think it's more profitable. You can make anything profitable if you have the right business acumen, if you have the right tools, and you have the right mindset. So that's the basic answer, I guess. Excuse me a second. Okay, case in point. So Christina says, you're a UX designer and that's a big ticket market. I don't know how I can charge big prices for my artwork. There's nothing that can't be sold for high value. I know artists that make a lot more money than I do because they knew how to create a brand and they knew how to connect with people that love their artwork. Artists, true artists, you create art, and art, doesn't necessarily serve a business purpose, right? It serves a lot of other purposes. It serves for inspiration. It can serve as investment. It can inspire people into action. Art is really amazing and powerful. But some artists have a harder time selling their art because they don't feel like they have the ability to say, my art gets results, right? And it's more subjective. And so it's a little trickier to figure out your audience and figure out your pricing. But really it comes down to creating a brand and making people want your stuff. And that's going to probably come, frankly, a lot from you. Part of it's going to come from your skill and your actual style and the art that you create and whether people like that. Part of it's going to come just because people want to support you and for you to become kind of more visible and more powerful and step into who you are and create a personal brand, that suits you. You might want to look at, there's a book by Austin Kleon called Show Your Work, and then he's got another one, and he's an artist, and he's done really well, and I think he has some specific stuff for you. So it'd be a good investment. Just, again, going to move, trying to give you guys a better view of my face. I feel like I'm like sitting in a dark corner. It's really actually quite bright out here. So anyway, Christina, don't give up. You can absolutely make a good living as an artist and make high value prices. It doesn't really matter your specialty if you learn the art of marketing. And I can't guarantee that it's going to be super easy. Like I said, if business ownership was easy, everybody would do it, right? Because you get to set your own hours, you get to make the rules, you are your own boss, you get to do what you want. And ultimately, it's the way forward to creating wealth. It's not necessarily going to be easy, but I can tell you, in my experience at least, it's absolutely been worth it. So don't give up. Maria says, I have a graphic design business and I've never made more than $75,000. What should I do first to grow my business? Number one, make a decision, actually. I was going to say something else, but number one, as I said, I've said multiple times, and one time the microphone was off. Make a decision and commit to doing it. Number two is start thinking like a business owner and not a business operator, not an employee. So the new subtitle of the workbook, the Six-Figure Freelancers, or Secrets of a Six-Figure Freelancer is what I'm calling it, is how to stop thinking like an employee so you can grow your business like a boss. Because employees think about their business differently than bosses do. When you are a freelancer and you've got kind of an employee mindset, you're focusing on your skills, your resume, and you're applying to gigs and stuff like on Upwork and freelancers, and you're acting like an employee. Whereas a boss is going to create a business and say, I offer these services and these solutions for these clients. And then they're going to market that. And you're going to market your brand and your business over and over and over again and generate further reach rather than reaching out one-on-one for these gigs. So if you're doing gig-based work, that's the first thing you can do. If you're actually starting to build a brand, but you're still just not getting the results that you want, then I would probably take a really good look at your client and your messaging. So there are a lot of little things that can happen, but it's possible that either you're talking to the wrong client at all, excuse me, and you need to just start talking to somebody else, or you have the right market in mind, but there's some tiny changes in your wording that maybe aren't working. Maybe you're not clear enough, or maybe you're not indicating the value strongly enough to get people to work with you. So review your client. Those would be my best bet. Beyond that, I'd have to know a little bit more about your business. Steven says, I've never worked with a coach. How do I know coaching will work for me? Well, Stephen, are you coachable? Do you like to learn? Are you willing to learn? Do you want to do the work? If you are, then coaching will work for you. If you're not, if you are one of those people that knows everything, I know exactly what to do with my business, do it. I get a lot of that too, or I have in the past. I haven't had a know-it-all in a while, but I've had clients come to me before that are very, very confident that they know everything they're doing is exactly right. They're just not getting the right results. If everything you're doing is exactly right, you'd be getting the exactly right results. So you have to be open to learning, and you have to be open to trying new things. Coaching, depending on the type of coaching, my one-on-one coaching clients really thrive a lot because of the accountability. My one-on-one coaching clients tend to be really, really driven people. They're not struggling in the same manner that a lot of other people who have already left this webinar struggle. They struggle more that they want to grow their business even more exponentially, and they get overwhelmed with the amount of ideas that they have. That's really common with creative people too. We can do everything, and so we try to do everything instead of focusing on doing a couple of things. I'm getting a little off track from your question, but the point is, like, you can do everything you want in your business and in your life. You just can't do it all at the same time, guys. So start focusing, start narrowing down, and grow your business from small to larger later. And do I have any other questions? What is the biggest difference between freelancing as a creative versus a technical? There's really not a lot of difference other than the actual solution that you're selling. You still want to talk in benefits. You still want to create unique value for your client. You still want to be personable and be somebody that you want to work with. Whether it's a creative skill, whether it's coaching, we have a health coach on here. I know that. And I know I've had people on here before that are like in event planning, event management, marketing management, coding. I had an SQL designer or SQL programmer. It doesn't matter what you're offering. In fact, if you're a technical person, you have an advantage right now because everything is going web and there's so much work out there. And if you're working in tech, there's so many more opportunities naturally to get remote work because it's just how business is. Like you work on the internet, you don't need to be anywhere else. And there's really not a lot of difference between how you sell yourself, except it's just the actual solution that you offer. Anna says she doesn't seem to know a lot about marketing, or you seem to know a lot about marketing, but what if I don't? I'm worried I won't be able to make money. Well, that's why you need a teacher or coach or solution. You know, whether you work with me or you work with somebody else, you need to get the tools that you need. For years, like when I was starting out, I didn't have a lot of money. And so every Thanksgiving, like I would stock up on a course because everybody has their Black Friday sale. I would take some sort of online course, or I'd take a free course. Like I taught myself how to code using Code Academy and a couple of other sites, or at least the basics of it. I ended up investing in higher end programs later, but to start, I took advantage of all the free stuff. Particularly now, now is such a great time to become a business owner because everything's online. There's so much access to information that, as I said multiple times during the presentation, in fact, like it's easy to become overwhelmed with the amount of information out there. So, learn. Everything is learning, but I do recommend that you learn from people that you vet and ensure that there are people that can give you the results that you want. There are unfortunately a lot of people out there that are going to take advantage of you. There are a lot of people that are far better at sales than I am, and they're able to sell ice to an Eskimo, to use an alternative phrase, and they'll sell you shit you don't need. And so be careful who you invest your time and your trust with. But do invest, and everything's Googleable. Everything is learnable. If you're new and you don't have a lot of marketing experience, well, you may want to take a little time to learn that and figure it out before you completely ditch your day job or whatever's paying your bills right now. All right. I don't recommend doing what I did 10 years ago and just quitting your job without a plan. It's generally not a good idea. And I struggled for a while and I dug a really big hole. I'm ultimately glad that I did it because at that time I was so burnt out in my corporate job that I was just really non-functional. I did not have good coping mechanisms and I was drinking a lot, and I was really just busy destroying my life. And quitting my job was kind of the first step towards moving on. I mean, I didn't get sober for 5 more years, but that was like the beginning of my pathway to changing my life and taking control. So I'm ultimately glad that I quit that job, but I don't really recommend it for anybody else. Like, if you can avoid it, if you're not burnt out to the point of absolute fatigue and exhaustion, if there's any way you can make it work, or you can take a different day job that you don't hate. So if you're in a job that you really can't stand, maybe the interim step between, now to business ownership is to get you into a better job, either that pays better or gives you more freedom. Maybe you take a pay cut to work part-time somewhere, but it gives you 20 hours a week to work on building your freelance business and your consulting business. And you can do it right, and you can do it rapidly by growing with me or with another coach or teacher. There's just so many resources. You can also check out my blog. It's katebegoy.com/blog. I have a number of articles and resources, and I'm creating more and more content that I'll be posting there as well to help people out. But there's some stuff on there on, the website mistakes that I see most common. A website is super, super powerful, and you don't have to have anything super fancy, right? Like I actually, I made most of my business as a freelancer with a single page website. Single page, multiple sections, and there's a very clear outline to that. I'm actually going to be putting together a course on that at some point that'll teach you how to build a website, but I don't have that yet. So yeah, you can learn. Everything's Googleable. Everything's figure outable. You need to just commit to doing whatever it is that you need to do in order to create the life that you love. All right. Speaking of, Peter says, I've been stuck getting a website together for ages and I can't figure out how to get it right, so I never launch it. Should I hire someone to fix it? Peter, launch the damn site. Either just click go or yes, hire somebody to fix it. Like, it's just, perfectionism will destroy you as a business owner, guys. If you never share anything, if you never try, you're never going to learn, you're never going to grow. And the truth is, you're never going to get anything perfect, and nothing's permanent. Like, any decision you make, with the exception of death, it's not permanent. You can change your mind. You can do it again. You can fix it. If you launch your website and it's a shit show, which I did, like the first version of my coaching site. So if you go to cablecoy.com right now, like, it's a pretty decent site. It could be improved. I'm always improving, right? But the first version of it was such a hot mess. Like, I launched it in a weekend because I knew that if I didn't take massive action, if I didn't immediately start working on my business, I was not going to do it, because I know myself. And I know that, it took me 10 years to get that freelance thing right. And the last time that I did it right, it was really because I made that shift and I said, I am a business owner and I'm going to do this shit. And I launched my website in a day and I started contacting people on LinkedIn and I got a client. So launch the website. And yeah, if you are absolutely terrible at tech and that sort of stuff, hire somebody to help. Got just a couple more minutes and I'm running low on battery, so this is my last question. I'm sorry. Nancy asks, how do you run your business and travel full-time? Like, what tools are you using? It's really easy generally to run online. My biggest challenge with the traveling has been finding workspaces where I can have like privacy. So I'm actually going to be leaving Bali soon to get to probably either Singapore or Thailand, where I can get a nicer place with Wi-Fi and at home that's going to serve me so I can have larger space. And I can work from home exclusively. Right now I can't work from home because the Wi-Fi has not been consistent at home. And I've had that problem in my last 3 countries. So I've had to work in a workspace, which is frustrating, but fixable. In terms of other stuff, so this is, obviously I'm talking to you right now through Webinar Jam, but I use Zoom.us for my client calls. I do video calls. I use Calendly for scheduling, or QED for my actual one-on-one clients. I use Google Docs. I do all the same stuff that you would in an office. I just don't do it in an office. I have a list of tools that I use. Some of them are affiliate links. I don't promote things as an affiliate that I don't actually use and that I don't actually recommend that you use. But you can find that list at katebrickoy.com/tools. I use WordPress for my websites with Divi. Divi is a framework for WordPress and a theme, but it's not really a theme because it's like completely customizable. It's put on by Elegant Themes, and I've been a client of theirs for about 10 years now since I started doing WordPress sites. What else do I use all the time that's helpful? There are a couple of apps online, like, or for iPhone, like Work Hard Anywhere and Work Anywhere, and a couple of other nomads lists that will help you find co-working spaces and anything like that. There's a lot of digital nomad communities. That's stuff that you won't find on my tool list. So if you search Facebook for like digital nomad, if this is your dream lifestyle, or location independence, that's my dream lifestyle. Digital nomad is not actually my dream lifestyle. I love to travel, but it's actually a little exhausting to do it full time. And so I want to have roots and wings. I want to have homes in multiple cities, rent them out when I'm not there, and kind of rotate between them. That's my long-term dream. But if digital nomadism is your dream, check out the Facebook groups for like this digital nomad girls and digital nomads global, and there's just all kinds of stuff. So join the groups and start acting on advice that they give you. There's, no shortage of tools on the internet. So for the few of you that are hanging in here, thank you. I hope that I created a lot of value for you and that I helped you to get a little clarity around, what to do next to start or grow your business. And, I hope that you stay in touch and let me know how it goes and how I can support you. I really love feedback. So, if you respond to any of the emails that you get from kate@katethegoy.com, it comes directly to me. Um, and I would love to know what was helpful, what was not helpful, and how I can improve this or create future trainings for you that would help you create the life and business that you love. Um, Parting words here, the last couple of minutes is life is too short to just exist. We only get so much time on earth in these bodies, so don't waste it doing things that you hate. Don't waste it in a cubicle if you're not meant for the cubicle. Don't work for other people if you're not meant to work for other people. Make a commitment to going after what it is you want, and to figuring out exactly what you want. That's really actually the most important first step. Sometimes we think we want things and then we find out that we don't. It happens to me all the time. But just make a commitment to doing it and taking consistent action. I think I've probably said consistent about 100 times during this webinar, and there's a reason. What you do consistently is what you're rewarded for. The results in your business that you're getting right now are a result of what you've been doing consistently. So if you're not getting results, it's because you've not been doing the right things consistently. If you can do the right thing some of the time, but if you're not doing it consistently, it doesn't matter. You'll stay struggled and you'll stay stuck. So that is it for me today. Again, you can find all of the information you need about working with me at sixfigurefreelancers.com, or more information about me personally at katethegoy.com. You can read my story from burnout to business owner, and how I actually came to live this crazy life. And I hope to see you online again at a future training, or out in the world. Send me a message, take care of yourself, commit to doing what you love, and you will get there. It's hard work, but it's rewarding. And I promise you do have what it takes to create the life that you want. You do. I believe it. I'm your biggest fan, and I'm rooting for you. Have a wonderful day.